Blessings to you, my energetic beings, and welcome back to the Musing Moon Meditation. This Musing Moon is brought to you by the full moon in the season of Gemini, happening also in the season of Sagittarius on December 7th, 11:09 p.m. Eastern, 10:09 p.m. Central, 9:09 Mountain, and 8:09 Pacific. But go ahead and check your local time zone to see where she apexes for you. And if you have yet to tune into my Musing with Tanya D podcast, we not only have the angelic being Raguel in the house, but we also have the planet Jupiter. Jupiter excels everything that it touches. It's the benefic bountifier. So see where Jupiter is transiting for you and also where Jupiter is in your natal birth chart. Be sure to check or tune into that, and happy listening there as well. And if you are new or have been listening in for a while, inshallah and ashe, I am Tanya D, and I teach people about tuning into their energy body through the realms of the elemental into the imaginal to ground, source, connect, protect, and to listen how you too can package your greatest asset, you, and become the being you're meant to be. Living our life purpose can often or sometimes feel like a curse, but the blessing is in the ingredients, and you, my friend, are the ingredients, and the study is in the case. By teaching people how to play with the elements and utilize the gifts of the other world to bring light to who they are, your energetic subtle centers along with the cosmic highway, whether fear is your ally, turning that into your greatest asset. I am a practicing holistic shaman, medium, otherworldly life coach, and subtle energetic surgeon, but my intention is to use the power of the indigenous technologies, your original divine blueprint, to navigate your soul's harmonic through the realms of the elemental highway, into the imaginal realms with those subtle energies, elemental beings, and really so much more, with offerings, rituals, and prescription, the otherworldly medicine kind, to really add to your personal container. But my goal truly is to merge the wisdom of these indigenous technologies with those subtle realms, the etheric highway, to assist you in navigating your prime directive, your inner genius, reintroducing you to and through the magical being that resides within. I do call myself a holistic Sha medium, and welcome to my audio medicine room. And if you haven't already, please be kind and do subscribe to either Musing with Tanya D, my podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or join my newsletter to be in the knowing, or even my YouTube channel where you are probably watching this moon meditation, along with other social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. But if your soul wishes to dive on deeper, head on over to my Musing Corridor, where I have offerings to assist you and guide you, tanyad.tv. And new to the brewing, something that's been percolating for a little while now, is the mentorship and membership opportunity, taking us to the origins, the rising of our origins in the Shamanic Healing Academy. I am your holistic Sha medium assistant. You truly are your own healer, but sometimes we do need a shamanic otherworldly life coach to see beyond the beyond, sharing insight into the another worldly perspective. Wherever you are, I will for sure meet you there. So with all of that, welcome to the full moon in Gemini, also known as the cold moon. The season of this full moon is when winter is cold. It begins to hold a grip. It's the longest of nights and the shortest of days. It's also sometimes called the moon before the Yule. So it's an appropriate name, as the long night's moon is when the midwinter nights are indeed very long, and the moon is above the horizon for a very, very long time. But this new moon, or full moon, is streaming in at the 16th degree, the degree of the faith harmonics. Our mind is open to accepting our heart's belief around something, an idea, heartfelt faith. Our mind believes, being mindful of our emotions. Gemini being the sign of the mind, ruling communication, ideas, short-term plans and travels, our childhood education, our siblings, our first friends. So this full moon is focused on our minds, our intellect, when we can kind of sort through these plans, these ideas, and focusing in on the ones that we are most passionate about, believe in emotionally. We can finalize these plans, fine-tune them, or finish ones that we've already started. Whatever we say, we can really mean it, and our words can drip with that emotion. So this can make us a little bit more authentic, though we may just be deluding ourselves into believing that we are being honest when we are actually lying to ourselves, all at the same time. So it's the heart and the mind, they can merge, but this can also bring some subjectivity to that furnace. So the full moon is also aligned with Mars, which is retrograde or on holiday in the season of the mind. So this may be some challenging, since it's bringing forth some energy to really focus focus and hone in onto. So we may be super annoyed, maybe frustrated, ready for a fight with words. That even may be some argumentative energy or opinions, if you will. So we can really believe that we are the ones that are 100% right, that we are in our own mind and our own opinions correct. But are we really seeing through the eyes of the Souls Harmonic, the signs, the ninth energy center, the heart merging with our solar plexus? Probably more than likely not. Also, with Mercury at the degree of the heart in the season of Capricorn, the ruler being Saturn, our mind may be contemplating some heartfelt decisions, a mindful commitment, and the heart being in the season of Sagittarius, the sun, we're holding a heartfelt faith and believing in what our heart wishes. The heart is always the one that's in control, or it should be. And also knowing that there is no shortage of ways that the stars and the planets affect our lives, the otherworldly elementals. Each different type of moon can have a serious energetic impact, but the full cold moon is going to take place in December, and every sign is going to be affected by this energy, this presence, as is expected whenever a full moon actually takes place, down to its core. But the December full moon is going to bring about a time of both that reflection and also looking forward, looking ahead, which is really quite fitting as we close out the end of the year. So here's a few things that you may be curious about the cold moon and how it may or may not impact your life according to the galactic elemental realm. But a lot of full moons have really earned their name based on the conditions of the environment around them when the full moon takes place. So what does that look like? September's full moon is called the harvest moon because it's during the harvest season. So like a variety of other full moons, the cold moon is thought to take its name from the Native American cultures and reflects the changes of the natural world around us. It's the season kind of hibernating, but it's arriving around the midpoint of winter. So the cold moon's arrival kind of marks a turning point when things have reached their coldest and darkest, kind of peaked. It's the most yin energy time of the year. So the full cold moon is set to rise earlier than previous times, tuning in on December 7th, and it's going to reach that illumination, the peak, at 11:09 p.m. Eastern. But the sign that the moon is in during December, it moves through a variety of all the seasons, but the full moon typically happens in the opposing sign to the sun, like all full moons, because the opposing sign to Sagittarius is Gemini. So those are often referred to as what they call sister signs in astrology. This full moon is in the season of Gemini. It's an expression of emotion, the completion of our emotional cycles. There really is a sense that it's time for change. And Gemini, the energy of Gemini is lively, it's spontaneous. So this tends to bring a desire for change on a whim, kinds of whimsical. The mind is kind of a tool without a lot of planning. So that can sometimes be a great thing or a good thing. But it's often our first thought is our best thought. So if you struggle with an impulse of control, this may also be an excuse to make some pretty kind of out of the world decisions. But Gemini energy is also logical, it's cool-headed, so we can kind of shed light, if you will, and be more rational, even detached. Maybe you're more impulsive with your decisions, but they won't be driven by emotions. You have to talk about how you feel. Another idea about Gemini, the essence is the duality and embodying other parts of our bodies, because there's always two sides to every story. And no one knows that better than a Gemini. Always at least two options within every choice. By thinking twice and asking the right questions about our own motives, we can harness the spontaneity of this energy, this frequency of this full moon without risking any adverse side effects, if you will. So under this lunarity, this influence, you could really expect a busy kind of sociable few days, if you know what I'm talking about. Maybe a little hectic humming and drummings and the comings and goings, being it's the season of Christmas. But words are going to be really important because we've got Mars in the loop. So really try to be as authentic and precise as you can be with what you say and actually how you say it, because this is going to be one of the least emotionally intense of all the full moons, but even so it's a great time to share our feelings with somebody we trust and really channel in this energy of the full moon to manifest our heart's deepest desires, because they always provide us an opportunity to deal with our challenges within our shadow selves. And the shadow sides of Gemini, the energy of it is more about immaturity. Maybe you're flighty, maybe you're fickle. Somebody may push your buttons and consider how much of that you might have brought upon yourself by acting maybe a little childish-like or childlike wonder. Maybe you're being a little insincere in your actions. But once we recognize our shadow elements, we can bring us out into the forefront, illuminating and lighting. We can actually move ahead with a solid mind and reason, or our intuitive side, because Mars is right there in the mix. So each season, during the moon being in the season of Sagittarius, each sign brings in obviously a different flavor, but you may be pleasantly surprised by the progress that you've made during this initiated full moon from the prior new moon. So you might see some different insights, some reflections, some may seem more important, so you can incorporate them and maybe just have a sense of accomplishing something that you're able to share, things you might have learned. People are going to be impressed by what you tell them in some ways, maybe a quest for knowledge where you become personally fulfilling. Once those answers come vibrating in, maybe you get a chance to do your own little song and dance, but you may also be rather a little bit more talkative, very social, fun, full of wit, maybe charitable even. Just make sure that you do spend time in the company of others. Maybe your opinion should not go unexpressed. Maybe you can appreciate your own independence more fully coming in during this time. And it would also be better to schedule activities with friends instead of going out on the romantic dates, because maybe you're not feeling particularly open to the burdens that a love relationship can kind of bring into the mix. And you might just feel happy with your own self. So like all the moon seasons, it's the tides of our emotions where they ebb and they flow in these cycles. So the full moon, it pulls the tides, but it also pulls at our subconscious mind. It's in this rhythm of nature. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's mysterious. But as usual, the tide rolls in and out and back again, and the moon governs all kinds of cycles. And we all know this with the moon, whether it's our monthly phases for women, could be our feelings. It could also, your subconscious mind is going to kind of lies in this domain as well. And our emotional nature is influenced by where the moon lies in our birth chart. Not only the sign that it's been born into, but even other aspects and planets can really talk to our emotional nature, our emotional foundation, our fourth house, whether we process our feelings easily or maybe we bottle them up, whether you tend towards contentment or anger or sensitivity or any of those flavors. But our attitudes toward love and intimacy are really as well influenced by the moon's placement as well in our chart. So a soft, sensitive and receptive planet, the moon, has to do with how we nurture and how we need to be nurtured. So it's also related to things like food, family, fourth house, protection, caretaking on a daily basis, whether we're feeling upset, maybe we're nervous, maybe we're at peace, maybe we're content, maybe we're just blah. So we can all look to where the moon is in the sky at the particular moment and really learn a lot about our emotional state of awareness. And being that the moon rules the season, the emotional sign of Cancer, Cancer is also a great declaration of where we can tune into our foundation of our own moon sign, if you're picking up what I'm throwing down. So for each of the signs, the full moon, as being in Gemini for the season of Aries, this full moon is going to be a great gift for you, as always, because you're impulsive. So this is going to clear the magnitude of your mind so you can move ahead, blending your heart and your instincts successfully, where you can utilize these energies to really revitalize the way you lead others. So you can have a clear mind, a clear head about what you're suggesting and why. You're going to find other ways to rally around you, and you're going to persuade people with your skills, because those gifts and those talents are really being amplified right now. So you're going to be absolutely authentically 100% yourself for a few days. So don't be shocked if others don't know how to react. Don't let the reactions of others turn you away from being your authentic self. There will be people who admire your honesty, your integrity, and admire this new you, but they won't be coming forward just yet. Where this full moon for you, Taurus, is encouraging you to change in the way you view your finances, your resources. Remember that you do have far more going for you than your bank balance. So think of different ways that you can value, different skills about how you could make use of it to move forward. There's also an underused gift and talent, which you could easily create some extra income, a bounty for you, as well as provide a lot of personal satisfaction and maybe some pleasantries and enjoyment. All in all, Taurus, life may seem hard as a slog at the moment, but rest assured things are going to start to get a lot easier. There will be people close to you who are more than happy to assist you. Just ask, and you may find that a certain helping hand gives you more than you imagined. It's about accepting and opening and receiving the gift of spirit. Oh, Gemini, this full moon's in your own sign. So this is like a mini revolution or a reprieve for you. It's time to stop being what you think other people want you to be. Instead, step into your own authentic truth, your own authenticity. Let out your inner playful side, lead the way with laughter and some fun. Assort your own identity. Refuse to be put in a box for the convenience of those around you. Really start to tread your own waters, your own path, with your own conviction and your own self-confidence. All in all, prepare to be in demand, but maybe not in the way that you might have imagined. People are really going to be opening up to you, left, right, center, above, beyond. While it may feel great to be so needed, don't let it get in the way of your own personal needs. Give yourself time for the breath, the pause, the reflection, even if it means that you have to turn some people down. Where Cancer, this full moon for you is probably, you may just have more questions than answers during the moon, because this is your planet. The activities and around your spiritual zone, your curiosity about life and spirit and your human potentials. So this is just a great time for you to question possibly faith and religion. This is playing out in your 12th house for having the confidence to explore different areas of belief that really authentically appeal to you. I would be trying meditation, maybe get a divination. I do those. See how it makes you feel, and you can kind of weigh in objectively on what feels right for you, which is a galactic plus for that. All in all, chances for real spiritual nourishment will be appearing for some of you during this lunation, this full moon, but don't misconstrue this as a major change in your outlook. Look for opportunities and doors to open to get yourself back to where you were, where you need to be, but don't beat yourself up for not going beyond that yet. Leo, for you, this is like too much work and not enough play. You may expect to reach a crisis point if you've spent too long focused on work or your career and not enough reaching out to the rest of humanity. Issues of friendships, connection are high. They're really on the agenda. So you may feel an urge to change your social circle. Run with it. There are plenty of kindred souls out there waiting for you to make your acquaintance. So this may just be an interesting time for you, dear Leo. Unexpected people around you will be struggling with self-reflection and doubts while you're going to be feeling extra confident. So it's really important that you try to understand them, offer your support in a non-judgmental way, channeling your inner healer. You'll be amazed how much it means to somebody. Virgo, this full moon is really activating your career zone. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. So don't be surprised if you feel like the little itch or a twitch. Maybe you're feeling like restlessness at work, but just try to avoid making sudden decisions. But what you can do is begin researching an alternative path that may suit you better, separating your emotions from what you feel about your work from the practical necessities, Virgo, of how much you need to earn and how you're going to get it, and just kind of make some logical choices about where your heart is heading now. It's time to do some pondering, dear Virgo. Relax, reflect, and allow yourself to wind down. Your working life may get a little frantic, but that's totally okay. Stay as zen as you can be. Ride out the stresses that seem to be creeping up like vines around others as the year draws to a close. Or Libra, this full moon for you is just activating. So before that's over, you can expect to have changed your mind half a dozen times, if not more. The lunar energies are really encouraging you to see all sides of every possible story, but that can just play out in your indecisive nature. Play for time, like play if you can, rather than making a final choice. Play, and don't be too hard on yourself about putting this off. Your desire to question everything is often healthy and, more importantly, positive. It's time to indulge in yourself. You've been putting yourself through it these last few months, but from the cold moon to the new moon, just allow yourself to get what you want. A period of self-reflection will allow you to see that you really do deserve it, heartfelt. Or Scorpio, you may just have some difficult issues in intimacy or maybe a complex relationship that needs some clarity under this clear-headed influence of the Gemini mindful moon. So it's a great time to put your emotions aside and to look at any relationship problems more objectively. What do you really want from someone? What are you prepared to offer in return? You've kind of created this tangled web of feelings, and it looks a little less depressing when viewed from under the light of the full moon, being reflective. It's time to put aside time, literally, to bond with your family, take comfort in friendships that are closest to you. You may be finding people have been misunderstanding your intentions, your personality lately, but instead of stressing over it, enjoy the company of the people who've had your back for years. Things will turn out okay, as always, in the end. Or Sagittarius, this moon is activating your relationship zone. It's an excellent time to bring more spontaneity, have some fun, maybe some love into your life. So there's kind of this undercurrent thread of this devilishness. So this could be a lot of fun. So some great humor might be an idea, some affection. Those are opening these doors, these opportunities. But you may also find it hard to focus on different responsibilities, maybe the serious business of love during this period. Instead, it's all about really what makes your heart light up, what makes you smile. So now is a great time for you. Just make sure not to self-sabotage. So a lot of you will be feeling the urge to do something out of your character. Well, this could be awesome. It could be great, but the cold moon is not the time for this. Instead, satisfy yourself with a little pride in what you've achieved this year, even if it is only those small baby victories. And Capricorn, this full moon for you is going to be the ability to multitask. That is the gift from the goddess of the night. Whether it's at work or home, you're going to be able to use some clarity of your mind to get a lot of this done all at once, typically before breakfast, probably before you get out of bed. You'll probably feel a great sense of progress during this moment. It's important to take care of your mental health. Gemini does rule the mind, so don't stress yourself out trying to achieve the impossible. So it may feel like things are snowballing out of control while the people around you may seem like they are coping fine. Don't be afraid to express yourself honestly to them. You're going to find you're not the only one feeling stretched out, stretched thin. A little empathy is definitely going to go a long way. So if you're feeling overshadowed, just remember your time to shine arrives around the Yule on December 21st. We're Aquarius. For you, the creativity of this full moon being in a fellow air signs talk, this is joy. This is like opening up for you. You're going to be able to express a lot of those pent-up emotions through writing, art, music. So it's going to open the doors and be just a huge blessing, a relief. It's going to be a busy period in your love spectrum as well. So it's nice to take time on those relationships, just taking it up a notch. And if you're single, look for somebody who makes you think. It's time to make some tricky decisions. New energies, thought patterns are going to be presenting themselves to you and for you. While they might seem a little tempting at first, you need to really break them down to see whether they suit you better than the path that you are already on. And lastly, for you, Pisces, this is in your zone of family, so it's going to bring some clarity around a controversy or maybe a debated, frisky, hot-tempered, possibly family situation where you've previously been consumed by the emotion of it all. This energy is going to allow you to objectively move everybody forwards. So as a parent or a caregiver, try to avoid being in too much of a hurry. Take a breath and take a pause. Some things do take time, and it's as if it should be. That took me a minute to stumble forward, but just learning to embrace the time that you spend with your family more as a gift, not as a chore. Maybe put your family before your friends. That might be an optimistic idea in the venue, while at the same time not letting others irritate you. So you're likely going to find yourself a little bit more combative than usual. The people around you, especially in your workplace, your friends, people are going to be rubbing you the wrong way. While relaxing may be easier said than done, keep the peace for a few days and allow things to simmer and just dissipate. So with all of that, let's tune in and do the Musing Moon meditation. We're going to come on in down through, I'm feeling like the solar plexus, 9 breaths for the solar plexus from the Souls Harmonic, bringing down the channels of signs and sigils from the Great Spirit into and through our solar plexus. So with that, I always like to take those inhales for a count of 3, hold for a count of 3, do your pause, and then exhale so we can cleanse the chalice, if you will. Streaming in divine faith, opening up to accept spirit, spiritual faith, the unseen, the intangible. So breathing in down through your Soul's Harmonic, an arm's length above your head. Let's stream in the color gold and bring in that gold all the way down to our solar plexus. Hold for a count of 3, and on our exhale and release out through the solar plexus in a complete 360 in our sphere. Exhale and release, being mindful of our thoughts. Inhale through the Soul's Harmonic all the way down to the solar plexus, holding for a count of 3, and exhale all thoughts, mindful of words that are more loving as love streams in through the gold to cleanse our solar plexus, where we radiate our self-confidence and our self-esteem, our administrative channel. Exhale and release. Inhale through the Soul's Harmonic, the 9th energetic center, golden streams of light, maybe flex, you decide, all the way down to our solar plexus. And we're going to stream in an emotional foundation that resonates with an affirmation. And exhale and release. Inhale through the Soul's Harmonic all the way down to your solar plexus. And as you exhale and release, being mindful of what your heart authentically believes. Exhale and release. Inhale through the Soul's Harmonic all the way down to the solar plexus. And as you exhale and release, we're going to bring in our heartfelt wish that merges with our heart and what we feel to be true. Exhale and release. Inhale through the Soul's Harmonic all the way down to the solar plexus, golden light. And as you exhale and release, you are going to release all frequencies, vibrations, and affirmations that are not in alignment with your solar plexus, your administrative channel. The only data you will receive is the information and the insight from the divine, the Great Spirit. Exhale and release. Inhale through the Soul's Harmonic all the way down to the solar plexus. And this time, as you exhale and release, you're going to be mindful, creating a spirit-induced affirmation that is in alignment with your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your administrative channel, your emotional. You are being mindful of your thoughts. Exhale and release. Inhale through the crown and all the way down from your Soul's Harmonic into your solar plexus. And as you exhale and release, I want you to release your ability to open up and receive the blessings of the Great Spirit into your essence, into your beingness. Know that you're being divinely guided through the solar plexus by the divine. Faith unseen. Exhale and release. Inhale through the Soul's Harmonic all the way down to your solar plexus. And as you exhale and release, you are releasing all fragments of your spirit that are not in alignment with your soul. On this exhale and release, you are going to affirm the Great Spirit is in alignment with you and that you are connected to Source as you release. Inhale through the Soul's Harmonic all the way down through the crown, golden light down to your solar plexus. And on this exhale, you are going to release all commitments, all responsibilities, all decisions that are not in alignment with your spirit, the harmonic of your Soul's Harmonic, aligned with your solar plexus, your data center. And as you exhale and release all of those commitments that are not in alignment, that are not in integrity with your spirit and your soul, are released. Inhale through the Souls Harmonic all the way down to your solar plexus, that golden streams of light from the Great Spirit. And on this exhale, we are going to exhale and release the energy of Mars, any actions or inactions that you haven't taken, any behaviors or character flaws that are not in alignment with what your heart thinks and what your soul believes. Exhale and release. Inhale all the way down through your Soul's Harmonic into and down past the crown to your solar plexus. And as you exhale and release, you're going to exhale anything that is not aligned with your soul's harmonic, your solar plexus, being mindful of what your heart believes and what the spirit is bringing to you, loving and trusting to the soul of your bones all the way down. And on this exhale, the golden light reflects back to you, the magical being that resides within, and you release down and through into the earth star. And again, you are mindful and you are affirming the magical being that resides within you. And with that, I say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. And with all of that, if this Musing Moon meditation inspired you in some way, if you don't mind taking a screenshot of you listening on your magical device, post it to one of your social channels, tagging either at Tanya D or at the Tanya D. And remember, if your heart does wish to dive on deeper into your personal container, join the Shamanic Healing Academy, where the mystics, intuitives, psychics, and shamans and the likes dive into the realm of the otherworldly. And with that, I will see you on the other side, or at least for the Yule and the Christmas tides. Ashe once again. And as always, blessings and gratitude to you and for you.